Okay, we'll continue. So this is the first biasing technique what we have, that is fixing by using VGS. So here we are fixing VGS first. Okay. So in order to fix VGS, we need to write this equation, and we have written this like VGS is equal to VRG2. In what way you are saying VGS is equal to VRG2? In what way you can say that VGS is equal to VRG2? Let us wait for 2 minutes. Okay. So in what way we can say that VGS is equal to VRG2? Because here RG2 I have connected between gate and source. So this voltage is going to be same as that of VRG2. Okay. And how we are going to write this VGS? By applying voltage divider rule. The voltage divider rule is nothing but VDD into RG2 by RG1 plus RG2. So by fixing this RG1 and RG2 appropriately, like whatever you can fix, like 2 mega ohm or 3 mega ohm, like that you can fix, and based upon that, it will fix the voltage across this gate and source. That is nothing but equal to VRG. Understood? So this is a way of fixing VGS. And once you have fixed VGS, that is going to predict the exact value of ID. Okay. So once you have this value, that value is going to fix the value of ID. How? Because this equation is confined to our saturation equation. Okay. So you can see this equation ID is dependent on VGS. All the other are constant. VT is constant. W by L is constant. K and dash is constant. All the three parameters are constant with respect to this particular device. Only VGS we need to fix. So that based upon that VGS, you can fix ID. Understood? So that this ID and VGS jointly, it is going to fix our Q point or operating point in the saturation region. Now, the basic drawback is that this is not good. This particular biasing technique is not good. The reason is that, please read this reason thoroughly. This is very important. Okay. Why we are not preferring this biasing technique? Which kind of biasing is this? Biasing using fixing VGS. This technique we will be using rarely only. We are not preferring this technique. Why? Because it has got its own drawbacks and issues. The main drawback is that even though we fix the value of VGS, the drain current ID is temperature dependent. Okay. ID may get vary with respect to temperature. And also, though we claim that this W by L, K and dash, everything is constant, but it is not a universal constant. It will get vary with respect to device. Means due to aging, if you are trying to replace this MOSFET, another device, we can't continue with the same biasing circuit. We need to design some other sort of biasing circuit so as to satisfy the W by L ratio and K and dash of the second replaced device. Understood? Because With respect to the replacement, these constants are going to change. Means this k n dash and w by L, it is not a universal constant. It may get changed with respect to the device. Okay. So when you have those changes, this ID is going to change. And also this ID is temperature dependent. So if ID is changing drastically, your Q point is unstable. Even though you have fixed the Q point in P1, say P1 is the actual point you have located. But due to this device aging or device replacement or temperature variations, your Q point may change from P1 to P2. Later that point, second point P2 may be out of saturation. So after a particular stipulated time, you can't claim that your Q point as of now it is in saturation. It may go deeper into triode region. So it's not necessary that amplifier will take place faithfully or linear amplification cannot ensure. Understood? So to ensure the proper linear amplifier, your Q point should be stable in a particular point. That point should lie in the saturation region if it is a MOSFET. So that eventually you can claim from this particular graph, whatever I have drawn here. So this is a graph where I have plotted VGS in x-axis and ID in y-axis. Okay, for two devices, device 1 and device 2. Initially for device 1, I have fixed my Q point here. That Q point was okay. Means it will satisfy my requirement for linear amplification. Means I have fixed VGS over here and I have fixed ID1 here. My VGS is fixed because my biasing technique is probably it is objective is to fix VGS only. So I have fixed VGS in this particular point. It is not going to change. But what I did is later I have replaced my device 1. Means the device 1 due to some reasons of aging, I'm trying to replace this device 1 with respect to another device 2. But I'm not trying to change the biasing circuitry. Means your VGS is going to be constant. How did you find VGS? I mean, how did you fix VGS? Anybody, how did you fix VGS? By fixing RG1 and RG2 using this equation. Resistances have long life. There may not be change in resistances. Assume that it is fixed. Assume that it is constant. So RG1 and RG2 being a constant, and if there is no supply variations, VGS is going to be constant. But unfortunately, due to the device replacement, there is a tremendous increase in current from ID1 to ID2. There's a large drastic increase in current. See? So that is why this characteristic curve, it has shifted upwards, that will yield a large ID2 when compared to ID1, even though VGS is constant. So this much variation you have observed, isn't it? That should not take place. So ultimately my conclusion is the operating point is not stable with respect to the first biasing technique. Is it clear? Any doubt with respect to the first technique of biasing? Bhavani?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Yeah, fine now. Now,
Yes,
yeah. Now going to the second biasing technique. Why I am moving to second biasing technique is because the first has got its own drawback. The main drawback is operating point is not stable. It is temperature dependent and it is device dependent also. Changing device means ID will change. Changing the temperature means ID will change. So even though you can fix VGS, this ID may not constant, may not be a constant. So Q point varies. So linear amplification will not take place. So for that, I'm going for the second one. Second technique is biasing by fixing VG and connecting a resistance in the source. So as you can see from the circuit diagram, instead of fixing VGS, we are fixing VG here. Understood? Instead of fixing VGS here, we are trying to fix VG here by adding a resistance RS. Okay, I have removed that combination of RG1 and RG2. So circuit is quite simple only. I have removed that RG1 and RG2. What you can see in the previous figure, see here we have RG1 and RG2. I have removed these two and I have put a resistance RS here. That is only change I'm doing in the second circuit. Okay. So from this, you are fixing VG, and how we are going to write VG here by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law in this particular part. The total input voltage is VG. A portion of this voltage will come across this terminal, that is VGS, plus another voltage will come across RS. I repeat, the total voltage here at the input terminal is VG. A portion of the voltage will appear across the gate and source, that is VGS. The remaining voltage will appear across RS, that's ID into RS. So this is equation number 1. The main important advantage of the circuit is that the Q point, I can make it stable. Why the Q point is unstable in the previous circuit? Because of change in dash. Can anybody say? Because of change in which parameter? Because of change in which parameter the Q point has changed in the previous case? Anybody? Because of change in drain current, ID, isn't it? ID is going to change because of the temperature variation, because of the device replacement, all that case. But here we can't say that ID will not change. Somehow ID is going to change, but that change should not reflect in our Q point. Means an attempt to change in ID, this particular circuit is going to suppress that change. Understood? There is a motivation for ID to change by its own, but my biasing circuit, whatever I am discussing now, that is going to suppress that change. Means ID is trying to change or ID is trying to increase by 2 times. Means our circuit will come into the operation and it will try to reduce the ID by 2 times. Means the change is null. So Q point is stable. So that is nothing but your degenerative action. What is that? Degenerative or negative feedback action. So the resistance RS is playing an important role in suppressing that particular change. So which is a particular resistance RS. Keep it in mind. RS is the resistance that is going to suppress the change in ID so that the Q point can be stable. How this is functioning, that is with respect to the equation number 1, whatever I have written. Now read the explanation followed by this equation number 1. Try to read this and understand. This is very important. So ID has increased due to some reasons, whatever may be the reason, maybe the temperature variation or maybe the device replacement, whatever it may be. Okay, please let me pause. I have a phone call. Let me pause. Okay. Okay, fine. So RS is going to suppress our change. So due to some reasons, ID is trying to increase. Okay, ID has increased. So what happens if ID has increased? The drop across RS will increase, isn't it? The voltage drop across RS is going to increase from this equation. If ID increase means the voltage across RS is increasing. But we have kept a constant voltage VG. By some sort of battery, we have kept a constant VG over here. It is not going to change. Assume that this VG is constant, it is not going to change. So to validate this equation, left side is constant, isn't it? So to make VG constant, whatever you have an increment in ID RS, the same times or the same factor, you should observe some sort of decrement in VGS. For example, if you have a 2-volt increment in ID RS, then there should be some 2-volt decrement in VGS so that VG will remain constant. So that is what's happening here. Understood? So I repeat, if ID increase, IDRS increases. So to maintain VG constant, what we have to do, VGS should decrease. That VGS will decrease automatically so that ID remains constant. As ID remains constant means your Q point will be fixed and you have done a negative feedback. That is nothing but your degeneration action. So that resistance is known as degeneration resistance. Anyway, ID is going to change. Somehow ID is going to change, but that change, it becomes null afterwards due to the effect of this RS. Similarly, you can claim for the other case also. If ID is going to decrease, what happens if ID is going to decrease? IDRS decrease. IDRS decrease means VGS will increase so that VG remains constant. Okay. Now this is what is shown in this particular graph. I think this we can continue afternoon at 3 p.m. Okay. As of now, I'm stopping here. So till now, what we did is we have completed the working of MOSFET. Followed by that, we have done the numerical problems, how to design the MOSFET circuits, and followed by that, we have done what is biasing and what is the need of biasing and different biasing techniques, from which 2 techniques already we have finished. First technique we have finished, and second technique we have completed the design aspects, and now we need to concentrate on the graph or the slope. Some sort of things we need to derive or we need to claim from this particular circuit. And then we will go to the third and fourth case of biasing. It's quite simple. No worries. Okay. Okay, then we'll continue at 3 p.m. Hope you will join. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.